our main topic will be becoming a sales development rock star. Okay? Freelancing as an SDR in this modern sales world. Una sa lahat, gusto nating alamin ano nga ba yung SDR, 'di ba? What is as an SDR? So, SDR or Sales Development Representative is a sales professional focused on prospecting, tandaan natin yan, qualifying or qualifying leads and nurturing them through the initial stages of the sales funnels. They are not responsible for closing deals, but rather for finding and preparing potential customers for the next stage of the sales process. Today, maiintindihan natin hindi lang kung ano ba yung mga roles and responsibility ng isang SDR, maiintindihan din natin yung ibang mga tools na ginagamit ng isang SDR at marami rin tayong matututunan kasi marami din tayong prepare na mga terminologies na mahalaga sa sales. So kagaya ng introduction sa akin, si Rino is not just an SDR. I've been doing end-to-end sales for 7 years. So part lang ng SDR role yung ginagawa ko or parte ng ginagawa ng SDR yung ginagawa ko before. So kasama dito, sabi dito, SDR is an entry-level sales role that is focused on outreach and prospecting. Mahalaga po nating matandaan at maisapuso na ang pinaka-mission ng SDR is to create qualified opportunities for closers. So mamaya bibigyan namin kayo ng pagkakataon, if you have pen, paper, if you have notepads in your PC, laptop, or phones, maganda na mag-ask na kayo or mag-prepare kayo ng mga question, especially baka may mga terminologies or jargon ako na hindi pa familiar sa mga hindi salesperson. So for example, nandiyan yung mga sales funnel na tinatawag o kaya tinatawag nating lead. Baka hindi natin alam yun. You can ask those questions later, okay? But gusto ko maintindihan ninyo na ang isang SDR ay napakahalaga. They are very crucial in the sales cycle. They're a very important role. That's why a lot of companies are hiring SDR because they're very helpful when it comes to creating qualified opportunity for closers. Bakit ko nasabi na mahalaga ang isang SDR? Kasi kagaya ng sabi ko, before, I was doing end-to-end sales, so wala akong SDR, kaya lahat ng trabaho nasa akin. But having an SDR, it will allow me to focus on other important tasks, which is bringing the revenue for the business. Okay? Now, why SDR matters? Yan. So kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, mahalaga ang SDR sa sales cycle. 'Di ba? Ang isang sales development representative, they are the front line of the sales process. Kung mayroong unang-unang tao na mag-i-introduce ng company or ng brand na nire-represent niya sa kanya mga potential customers at buyer, si SDR yon. Sila yung muka ng company whenever these SDRs are reaching out to the prospect and introducing the product or the services of the company that they are presenting. Another thing is SDR keeps pipeline full and sales flowing. Dahil nga, for example, sa scenario ko before na wala akong SDR, isa sa mga challenges ng mga account executive, I was an account executive then before, isa sa mga challenges namin if we don't have an SDR is we need to qualify and look for new potential prospects na i-add namin sa pipeline or tatrabahuhin namin para mabentahan ng isang account executive. But an SDR, they have the power to get that task from an AE or from a business development manager para magkaroon kami ng maraming time makapag-focus sa pag-warm up ng mga focus doon sa pagko-close ng sales at pag-nurture ng mga leads namin, especially doon sa mga na-demohan na namin or nakapag-present na kami ng products and services. Okay? Without SDRs, lagi nating tandaan, sales team will stall. Diba? Tayo as an SDR will be the engine that feeds leads and drives growth for the company. Binavalue ng isang company ang SDR. Bakit? Kasi we are the one who's responsible of generating high quality meetings na pasok sa ideal customer profile ng company. Mamaya maintindihan natin kung ano yung mga terminologies na ginagamit ko na ideal customer profiles, etc. and etc. Okay? Sales development representative are crucial for B2B companies. Ano ba yung B2B companies, okay? B2B or business to business companies. So, ibig sabihin, si company, for example, good example si Vame, okay? B2B company si Vame because we reach out to potential businesses and then offer the staffing and outsourcing services that we have. B2C naman, otherwise, ito yung mga supermarket, di ba? They are a B2C company, they are a business, and then consumers yung kanilang market. Si SDR daw ay nagmamatter ng sobra sa mga B2B companies kasi we are the one who's reaching out to the business and then identify the needs during the conversation na ino-open ng mga SDR. Okay? Now, this is important. Ano ba yung responsibilities ng isang SDR? So number one dyan, prospecting and lead generation. I'm not sure if may mga umattend na dito noong nakaraan. I saw dun sa YouTube natin, ang isa sa kanilang na-discuss ay yung lead generation. So part ng responsibilities ng SDR ay lead generation. So para ma-identify ninyo yung dito yung or ma-picture ninyo sa sarili ninyo yung hierarchy ng isang sales role, no? Number one sa baba, lead generation. Bigyan ko na lang rin ng quick recap. Lead generation, sila yung naghahanap ng leads. Okay? And then there's an SDR. SDR, pwedeng nagli-lead gen din siya. At the same time, narito yung ibang mga responsibilities. And then, may mga AE, etc., etc. Mamaya, hold ko yan kasi di-discuss din natin yan. Okay? So, prospecting and lead generation, meaning to say, in layman's term, naghahanap tayo ng mga potential buyers natin doon sa product or services na ino-offer natin. Qualifying leads, ikina-qualify natin yung mga companies na companies or contact person na na-generate natin. And then once na na-qualify na natin sila, it's our responsibility to schedule meetings para dun sa AE natin or dun sa mga business development managers or sa mga sales closers natin. Next is nurturing leads. Anong ibig sabihin ng pag-nurture ng leads? Once na na-schedule na natin sila ng meeting, we have to make sure na mapapanatili natin sila as nag-e-engage na at patuloy na nag-e-engage doon sa ginagawa nating outreach sa mga potential customers natin. So, there are two different type of leads. May cold leads, ito yung hindi talaga kilala ng company or nung company na yon, yung company natin. And then warm leads, pwedeng nabasa na nila tayo somewhere, nakita na nila yung website natin, or nag-inquire na sila sa atin. Okay? And then another responsibility ng SDR is CRM management or customer relationship management. Okay? Next is collaboration with sales and marketing. Mahalaga na ang isang SDR ay laging nakikipag-communicate sa sales team, which is yung mga closers natin, at sa marketing team kasi makakatulong din tayo sa marketing team sa pagpo-provide sa kanila ng specific contents or pagtulong din makapag-generate ng leads sa pamamagitan ng mga SDR. As an SDR, always remember that we also need to make sure that we know what the product is. As an SDR, kailangan maalam tayo kung ano yung binibenta nating product or ano yung binibenta nating services. Hindi natin to kailangan ibenta during the discovery call or during kapag ka nagko-cold call sa tayo or nagko-cold outreach, but it's still important na alam natin kung ano yung binibenta or i-offer natin sa i-offer natin sa mga customers and sa mga potential buyers natin. At ito, yung panghuli. As an SDR, it is very, very important that we know how to build relationships with our potential prospects and clients. Actually, hindi lang sa SDR. This applies to everyone in sales, 'di ba? Siguro kayo na-experience nyo na you go to a grocery store or you go to the mall, 'di ba? May mga iba't ibang tao na nagbebenta. For example, sa palengke, diyan yung tatawagin ka na pogi, bili na, 'di ba? Sometimes, as a customer, bumibili tayo sa mga number one, kakilala natin. Pangatlo, doon sa magaan ang loob natin. As an SDR, we should have the ability to build relationship with our prospect. Hindi pwede sa SDR na mahiyain, hindi pwede sa SDR na transactional lang, no? Na parang order taker. As an SDR, it is important that we care for our customers. Ako lagi kong sinasabi sa mga clients ko or sa mga customers ko, hindi ko pinaposition yung sarili ko as a salesperson. I always position myself as a consultant, someone who is there that is willing to help them resolve their problems, their challenges, and then their needs, no? Sa pamamagitan kasi nun, pag naparamdam natin sa mga customers natin, especially as an SDR, na we really care about their business and the reason why they're reaching out or why we are reaching out to them is we want to help them resolve their problems, their challenges, at yung mga pangangailangan nila, they would feel that we are building relationship for them. Not just the order taker na parang, okay, gusto mo to, bilhin mo to, okay, process ko to, that's it. That's very transactional. It's not good as an SDR to have that kind of attitude. Always remember to build relationship with our potential prospect. Okay? So you'll learn today. You're going to learn as an SDR. It's best that you know how to create cold emails, use smart tools, and get past gatekeepers. Isa yan sa mga problema natin at isa yan sa mga i-resolve natin. Okay? Now, for prospecting and lead generation, sabi ko nga kanina, isa yan sa mga kailangan natin as a sales development representative. Here are some of the tools, no, na ginagamit ng isang SDR sa pag-generate ng leads or sa pag-generate ng customer information. Number one is Apollo.io. So Apollo.io is, it gives us emails and job data. So Apollo.io, you can go to the website para at least makita nyo rin yung itsura niya. But basically, Apollo.io, this is one of the most used lead generation tool na ginagamit ng mga SDR. Apollo.io is not just a tool to generate leads. Pwede rin kasi siyang makapag-send out ng mga campaigns or ng mga sequences para doon sa outreach. But basically, it's a sales gamit natin sa pagpa-prospect ng leads. Okay? Next is ZoomInfo. So ZoomInfo is gold for detailed company info. Kung merong pinakamagandang lead generation tool, for example, you have a client and they ask you, because most of my clients there are asking me then to generate leads. To set up the tech stack sa company nila. So tinatanong nila ako, ano bang magandang lead generation tool ang gagamitin natin? So kaya Apollo at ZoomInfo at instantly nilagay ko dito kasi you will always have an option to suggest din sa mga client natin. Si ZoomInfo, siya yung top tier, no? I-visualize natin siya na siya yung gold pagdating sa pag-generate ng leads. Ang cons lang dito, it's super expensive kasi nga sobrang powerful ng tool na to, no? Yung data na pinoprovide niya sobrang accurate din mostly. Tapos marami ring company information na makukuha tayo kay ZoomInfo. Then, kapag gusto niyo naman ng hindi ganun kamahal, budget friendly lang yung isasuggest natin kay client, then we can go with Apollo.io. So Apollo.io, it's a powerful lead generation tool as well. It has millions of company information na pwede nating ma-generate or makuhanan ng email address, phone numbers ng isang potential customers. Again, sabi ko nga, si Apollo meron din siyang option to send out emails. Meron din siyang option um, to create task, especially if you're going to do multi-touch touch point sa sa pag-outreach natin sa mga potential customer natin. And then we have Instantly. So si Instantly naman, it's like Apollo, okay? Siya si Apollo, pero mas magaling din siya ng konti kay Apollo. Kaya ganun natin siya i-visualize. Bakit? Si Instantly has a lead generation tool, or meron din siyang option para makapag-generate tayo ng leads. Meron din siyang email verifier. So na-verify niya yung mga email address na meron tayo doon sa generate nating leads at i-check niya instantly kung qualified ba or kung active ba yung email address na yon. Instantly can allow us as well to send out emails from multiple domain. So medyo technical na to, no? Baka na-overwhelm na kayo. Pero yung Instantly kasi, or generally, pagka nagsiset up tayo ng campaign, ng outreach campaign as an SDR, si Instantly, pwede tayong mag-set up ng multiple domains. Ibig sabihin, sa isang campaign, for example, mag-outreach tayo or mag-reach out tayo sa mga grocery stores, halimbawa, dito sa Philippines. Oh, backwards lang ako para at least nakakasunod kayo at na-visualize nyo siya, okay? So, ang company natin, for example, we are a food manufacturing company, okay? So, for example, tayo si Rebisco, no? Good example, si Rebisco. Si Rebisco, mag-create tayo ng campaign for Rebisco, okay? Ang potential na i-outreach ni Rebisco para mabenta yung mga crackers niya ay mga grocery stores sa Philippines. So gagamitin natin either si Zoom Info, si Apollo, or Instantly to find those leads or yung mga grocery stores sa Philippines. Okay? Isa yon sa mga gagamitin natin. Sila, alin man dito sa tatlo. Now, if we want to start the outreach, let's say mag-i-email na tayo sa kanila, magko-calls na tayo or magko-connect na tayo sa kanila sa LinkedIn, we can use this prospecting and lead generation tools like Apollo and Instantly. Kay Apollo.io, 5 lang yung maximum na emails na pwede nating magamit. Kasi lagi nating tandaan, pag nagsasend out tayo ng cold outreach or ng email outreach, hindi rin pwedeng sobrang dami. May limitations yan para hindi mai-spam yung email outreach natin. Okay? 5 lang kay Apollo. At hindi rin natin na-verify kay Apollo yung mga email address na nakuha natin kay Apollo. Now, kay Instantly naman, you can add kahit 50 or 100 email domains, iba-iba. For example, rebisco.com.ph, rebisco.com, myrebisco.com, it's a rebisco.com.ph. Yun yung tinatawag nating domains. Kapag marami kasing domains sa isang email campaigns, we have the power to reach out to many people nang hindi na-i-spam yung domain natin or hindi na-damage yung domain ng isang company. So si Instantly, yung perfect na tool na gagamitin natin if we want to reach out sa maraming companies or sa maraming tawag dito, sa maraming grocery store sa Philippines. Pero if we want a very personalized, hindi rin ganun kalaki na outreach, let's say 100 groceries on a daily basis, pwede na si Apollo. Okay? I hope malinaw yung pagde-distinguish dun sa mga tool na ginagamit ng isang SDR sa part na to. But this tree can help us to build targeted lead list and then identify ICP. Now let's talk about ideal customer profile. Sige. So ano ba si ideal customer profile? Ayan. Ideal customer profile is a detailed description of a company. Again, of a company, not an individual, that would benefit the most from your product or service and is most likely to become a high value long-term customer. Kakakain ko lang kasi. An ICP includes firmographic, technographic, behavioral, and environmental data such as number one, industry. Sino-sino ba yung mga industry na pasok sa banga ng product or services ni Rebisco? Okay? Gaano kalaki yung company na i-reach out natin? Baka kasi sobrang mahal ng Rebisco. Baka 300,000 pag ang pinaka-minimum na kailangan bilhin ng isang grocery store kay Rebisco, no? So kailangan na identify din natin yung company size. Location, 'di ba? Sabi ko kanina, Philippines, yung tawag dito, i-reach out natin. So, kailangan alam natin or baka naman kasi gusto na rin mag-expand ni Rebisco to sell Rebisco sa ibang bansa dito sa Asia. Tech stack, ano yung mga tech stack na ginagamit nila? 'Di ba? Pwedeng may machine ba sila? Meron ba silang stall? 'Di ba? Et cetera, et cetera. At may budget ba sila? Ano yung business model nila? They are B2B, B2C ba sila? Or nagbebenta lang ba sila sa bangketa? Nagbebenta ba sila sa mga mamamahaling mall, etc., etc. And then pain points and goals ng customer natin, di ba? And buying process and timeline. Now, lawakan natin. Mas maganda na magkaroon tayo ng iba pang, what do we call this? Ng iba pang uh, example para at least mas maintindihan pa natin lalo kung ano yung um, ideal customer profile. Good example, or ito, ideal ICP components muna tayo before we go to the example. So, to create a strong ICP, yan, we look at several dimensions. Ayan yung sinabi ko kanina, what sectors are the best fit, headcount or revenue ranges, location, ano yung regions na we can serve or want to focus on, what problems are they trying to solve sa pain points. Sa tech stack, are they tech savvy ba? Or are they currently using tools na nag integrate sa product or service na ino-offer natin? Sino yung mga decision makers na involved sa buying process? Baka mag-outreach tayo sa isang janitor. Of course, hindi naman sila yung decision maker dun sa company. We need to identify yung ICP natin kung ano yung mga job titles na i-reach out natin. And then, can they afford our solution? At ano yung buying trigger sila or what prompts them to start searching for a solution. Okay? Now, punta tayo sa may example. Ayan. So good example ng ICP na meron tayo, si HubSpot. Patingin nga, heart nga kayo kung narinig nyo na or nakita nyo na or na-encounter nyo na si HubSpot. Ayan, meron na, may mga naka-encounter na ng HubSpot. So, for example, ang company natin ay si HubSpot. Okay? Sino ba yung ideal customer profile ni HubSpot? Okay. So, ang ideal customer ni HubSpot ay mga B2B SaaS companies, e-commerce companies, agencies, or mga professional services na pwede nating offeran ng CRM tools. Ano yung company sizes? Typically 10 to 500 employees. Bakit? Mamaya may mga other CRM tools din kasi ako na i-discuss pero si HubSpot kasi is not good kapag ka sobrang enterprise na nung business. That's why they go to companies like Salesforce kasi mas complex na yung needs ng mga enterprise account. But HubSpot is good for a smaller to mid-sized companies. Kaya typically 10 to 500 employees yung company size na ICP ni HubSpot. We need to reach out to doon sa mga companies na nagre-revenue sa 1 million to 50 million annually yung income nila. Location, actually global na si HubSpot but for this example, pwedeng North America, Western Europe, and Australia. Sila yung mas, kumbaga as a HubSpot company, mas feel nila na mas makakabenta sila ng mabilis kapag ka nag-outreach sila sa mga location na to. Tech stack, already using or willing to adapt to cloud-based tools like Google Workspace or Salesforce, di ba? So ito ang hinahanap ni HubSpot na ideal customer profile niya ay yung mga companies na tawag dito, mga companies na gumagamit ng manual process din, pwedeng gumagamit lang ng Excel, gumagamit ng sheet, na willing na mag-adapt sa cloud-based tools kagaya ni Google Workspace or ni Salesforce. Subscription, ang business model, mga subscription-based or reliant on lead generation. Pain points. So hinahanap ni HubSpot yung mga companies na disorganized yung sales pipeline, scattered yung marketing tools nila, at walang visibility sa lead performance. Siyempre, ang decision makers na gusto ni HubSpot is marketing director, sales lead, or mga CEO. Mga buying triggers nila, company growth, nag-expand na yung company, need to align to marketing and sales team expansion. Kaya gagamit na sila ng CRM tool. And then their budget is 3,000 to 50,000 per year. So yan yung mga example ng ICP. No? So hopefully naintindihan natin ano si ICP or bakit nagmamatter si Ideal Customer Profile. Yung profile na to na pinakita natin kay HubSpot, this help HubSpot marketing and sales team know exactly who to target and who to avoid, saving time then to boost their conversion rates. Kapag na-establish kasi natin mabuti ang ideal customer profile as an SDR, we know kung sino yung mga i-generate nating leads at sino yung i-reach out natin. So for example, ako ay SDR ni HubSpot. Gagamitin ko na ngayon si Apollo, si ZoomInfo, or si Instantly to find this ideal customer profile. Okay? I hope that is clear and crystal. Hopefully may natutunan tayo sa ideal customer profile. Again, it's very, very important as an SDR on how to qualify and how to tawag dito, to establish ideal customer profile. So for example, mag-start ka na ng career mo as an SDR, ask your client, 'di ba? Who's our ICP? What's our ideal customer profile? If wala pa yung client na ideal customer profile, then that's our chance and our opportunity to tell the client na I can help you identify and establish our ideal customer profile. So tayo na yon, iintindihin natin yung products and services as an SDR, and now we can establish who's our ideal customer profile based dun sa benefits na pinoprovide ng product and services natin. Okay? Now, let's talk about outreach strategies. So recap lang tayo, hinga lang tayo saglit. Kanina, na-discuss natin yung importance ng SDR, yung role ng SDR. Doon sa role ng SDR, tapos na tayo sa pag-generate ng leads, tapos na tayo sa pag-setup ng ideal customer profile. The next phase, kapag ka nag-generate na tayo ng lead, is yung mag-outreach na tayo sa kanila. There are different type of outreach na pwede nating gawin sa isang lead. So for example, siguro gamitin na lang natin si Rebisco para mas maintindihan natin. SDR ako ni Rebisco. May nahanap na akong lead. Okay? Ang nahanap kong lead ay si RCS Supermarket, si Unitop, si Ultra Mega, si Alpha Mart siguro, 'di ba? Or si 7-Eleven, yung mga convenience store. Para mabentahan ko sila ng Rebisco products, what I will do is to reach out to them. Paano? Number one is by cold email. Personalize. Bakit may exclamation point? It is very important and crucial as an SDR to know how to create a personalized cold email. Bakit? A lot of people, a lot of companies, RCS, si 7-Eleven, si Ultra Mega at yung iba't ibang grocery store, probably naka-receive na sila ng cold email on a daily basis. Dahil marami rin kagaya ni Rebisco na nag-outreach or nagre-reach out sa kanila. As an SDR, we should know how to create and craft personalized emails. Bakit? For us to stand out, 'di ba? Kung ikaw nga naka-receive ka ng email na parang napakahaba at parang feeling mo ang dami kong sinenda ng email na yon, automatic itatapon mo yan sa trash, di-delete mo yan at iisnabin mo. Pero when you receive a cold email, meaning to say, hindi ko kilala yung company, pero tayo ang aking earphones. Ayan. Naririnig pa ba ako? Paki-heart naman kung naririnig pa ako. Ayun, naririnig pa ako. Okay, sige. So, ayun, ang cold email, ayun, so sabi ko nga, nakaka-receive sila ng mga random cold email outreach. Pero, pag naka-receive kasi ang isang tao ng personalized email saying na, for example, um, nakita ni SDR sa LinkedIn ko or sa company ko na nag-celebrate ako ng birthday or nag-celebrate ako ng milestone sa company or nag-release kami ng bagong product or services or nag-expand kami or any news na pwede nating ilagay doon sa email natin at na-receive yon nung recipient, mafe-feel nung recipient na hindi siya ganun ka-cold outreach at hindi marami yung sinendan ng email na to. It is very personalized para sa akin. Pag ako naka-receive, parang for example, I saw on your LinkedIn post that you just celebrated your 2 years in the company. Congratulations to that. Yada, yada, yada. Mas malakas or mas mataas yung chance natin that we're going to respond. Mas mataas yung chances natin na tag dito, na mapansin at mag-reply kay client compared doon sa emails na marireceive nila na, hi, this is, tag dito, hi, Blessy, hi, Glenna, this is Reno from HubSpot, this is what we do, this is, we are a CRM company offering tools for your sales team, etc., etc. Automatic, they don't care about that. Okay? But if we create our cold email and cold outreach that is very personalized sa kanila, malaki yung potential na magre-respond sila sa atin. Okay? I'm not saying na sobrang successful niya at once na nag-send tayo ng personalized email, magre-respond sila. But compared to what other companies are doing, it is very important that on SDR, we do and we craft personalized email doon sa mga nire-reach out natin, doon sa cold email outreach natin. Okay? Next is cold calling with value pitch. So, kagaya ng sabi ko, kung sa email nga, marami silang nare-receive. For sure, yung mga ICP natin, di ba, marami na rin silang nare-receive na cold call. So, hahaba kasi tayo pagka tinrain ko pa kayo sa matinding cold calling. Pero, isa lang ang masasuggest ko pagka nagko-cold call tayo. Number one is, it's very important sa isang cold call, yung first 7 seconds ng call. No? Sa pagko-cold call, number one, dapat yung opening lines ninyo powerful agad. Pagka kasi yung first 7 seconds, it will either make it or break it, yung call flow na yon. Kaya mahalaga na we have a very strong cold calling starter dun sa mga scripts na ginagamit natin as an SDR. So, this not applies to everyone. This not applies to dito to everyone kasi iba't ibang cold call strategies ang meron diyan. No, sa cold call pwedeng yung, hi, this is Reno calling from company ABC. I know that this is a cold call, but are you okay with us? Parang something like that. Pero meron din tayong tinatawag na personalized cold calling with value pitch. For example, hi, this is Rina, I'm speaking with Glenna. Hi, Glenna, how are you doing today? Glenna, I saw that you just recently launched a new company or you just recently launched a new product. Tell me more about it. Pwede nating i-drive yung conversation natin sa ganun pag tayo ay nagko-cold call. Kanina, in-explain ko rin na mahalaga yung pag-build ng ito yung pagbibuild ng relationship sa clients natin. So during cold calling, it is very important na hindi agad natin ini-introduce yung product natin without us asking questions muna. It's very important that we qualify first. For example, um, nag-cold introduction na tayo, and then we ask question. I saw that you just recently launched a new product. What other product plans are you planning in the future? Or are there any challenges in launching the product? What's the target? What are we hearing from the market when we launch this product? You can ask those discovery questions for us to make our customer feel that we really care about their business. Hindi yung makaka-receive sila ng tawag, "Hi, I'm from HubSpot. This is a CRM. Um, we do this, we do that. We don't care about you." We don't do that. Okay? We want to make sure that we're building relationship by asking the right questions, discovering questions para ma-identify din natin kung ano ba yung pain points nila. Bakit? Bakit mahalaga? Kaya nakalagay dito cold calling with value pitch kasi pag na-identify na natin yung problem ng isang customer. For example, sinabi nila, actually ngayon um, Google Sheet lang yung gamit namin, doon lang namin tinatrack yung mga system, medyo time consuming siya. 'Di ba? Medyo prone din siya sa error kasi pwedeng isang backspace mo lang, pwedeng isang delete mo lang, mawala lahat ng CRM data natin. Ganyan. What can we do para mai-highlight natin yung product? Pwede nating sabihin during the call. That's actually the reason why I called, because our product can definitely help you. Or the reason why I asked this question is because HubSpot CRM is a tool that you can utilize to make sure that you are on top of your leads. It will help you organize your customer data, etc., etc. That's the time that we're going to deliver your elevator pitch. Elevator pitch, ito yung parang one-liner or one sentence lang natin na ini-introduce natin yung features, benefits, and advantage ng product or services na ino-offer natin. So through that, no, mafe-feel na ng customer natin during the call na, okay, no? Kesa dun sa mga nagko-cold call sa akin na hindi mo na inalam yung kalagayan ko. Pero with this person, with this SDR, nagawa niyang ma-identify, okay. So ngayon, gumagamit ka ng manual process, marami kang mistakes, marami kang errors or prone sa errors. Buti na lang tumawag ako sa iyo at ito yung offer namin. Ito yung product or services na ino-offer namin. So I hope matatak natin sa isip yun yung ganong klase ng pagko-calls o pagko-cold calls para makatulong sa inyo maging successful as an SDR, no? Wag lang tayong mag-SDR just to book an appointment without us understanding ano ba talaga yung problem nitong customer. Bakit din siya papayag magpa-book ng meeting sa atin, no? Another tip, mga aspiring VAs, no? As an SDR, lagi niyong isa sa puso na we are doing this to help our clients. Hindi naman tayo tatawag sa kanila just to set an appointment or to makabenta lang. We're calling them because we are very confident with the product or services na ino-offer natin na makakatulong to sa kanila. Okay? Na makakatulong sa kanila yung products and services natin. That's why, para hindi natin masira yung trust na binibuild natin during the cold call, mahalaga na nag-a-ask muna tayo ng questions before we dive into the value or before we throw the fab or the feature advantage and benefits of the product. Another thing na pwede natin gawin sa outreach strategies is social selling sa LinkedIn. This is the time we're going to connect with them sa LinkedIn, di ba? We probably comment on their post, like their post, engage with them, message them directly on their LinkedIn messages, and then invite them to have a quick chat with us or with the AE. So isa yan sa mga pwede nating gawin. Pwede rin tayong mag-post on an SDR, lalo na kung ang marketing team may mga pinopost about our company. Maganda na pinopost din natin siya sa LinkedIn. Kasi we have to understand that LinkedIn is the Facebook of business professionals. So dyan talaga sila pumupunta if they want to talk and want to think about their company and their businesses. Okay? Now, let's talk about qualification framework, no? So, kanina, inexplain natin na mahalaga rin yung pagko-qualify ng leads. During the call and during the cold outreach, isa to sa pinakamadali, mga kababayan, mga ka-VAs, na gamitin natin dito, strategy sa pagko-qualify ng isang lead doon sa cold call natin. Yung tinatawag nating BANT. Ano ba yung BANT? Budget, authority, need, and timeline. Pwede tayong mag-ask, can they afford it? Hindi naman natin syempre itatanong yan directly na, can you afford our product? Can you afford our product or services? Normally, the questions can be, if ever that we are going to proceed in helping you in resolving your problems when it comes to managing your leads, how much is your budget for this project? Okay? Then masasagot na agad yung unang qualification natin na may budget ba sila. Baka kasi mamaya explain tayo ng explain, we want to help them pero hindi pala pasok sa budget nila yung ino-offer nating product and services. Pag binook mo siyang appointment sa account executive, sayang din. 'Di ba? Yung appointment na nabook natin. So as an SDR, it's important na nako-qualify na natin sila during the call. Next is authority. We can ask them, aside from you, are there any other people that are involved in the decision making? Usually they would say, actually, it's not me who's going to decide, it's my boss, it's my CEO. Perfect, can we invite them to attend the meeting? Diba? Need. Do they have a real problem? Kaya ko sinabi kanina, kung naalala ninyo, always position yourself as a consultant, not a salesperson. As an SDR or a good quality of an SDR, hindi tayo magbebenta, hindi tayo magbubuk ng appointment if we feel like we're not going to help them at all. If we feel like they don't really need it. If we feel like our product and services doesn't give value to their business. We have to make sure that they really have a problem. At pasok siya dun sa bine-benefit or mabe-benefit nila pagka nag-avail sila ng product or ng service natin. Kaya we will ask them, di ba? Ako normally during the call, I ask them, what tools are you currently using? Are there any challenges are you experiencing with your tools? Are there any improvements that you want to see with your current software or with your current tools? Do you have multiple tools at the same time? What do you think would be the impact to your company if nothing changes in the next coming months? Doon natin pwedeng ipasok yung mga ganong tanong para ma-identify natin if they really have a need for that specific problem. And then, are they ready soon? Gaano ka bilis or gaano kabilis yung magiging decision-making process nila. If they said, we are planning this to do the migration the next coming months, we can also at least inform the AE kung gaano rin yung prioritization na maibibigay nila. Okay? So that's the BANT framework. This is very important. A lot of companies, pagka they're hiring for an SDR, gusto nila yung marunong ng BANT framework. Okay? There are other frameworks din naman no, na pwede nating gawin pero I don't recommend this kasi ang pinakamadali na is yung BANT. But we have MEDDIC, CHAMP, ANUM. Ginagamit na to usually ng mga AEs or ng mga account executive or ng mga advanced roles na. Okay? BANT is the simplest and easiest to start with when it comes to qualification. But for the sake of learning, ayan, ito na lang yung definition ng MEDDIC para at least dagdag knowledge din sa mga ka-VAs natin na pagka narinig nila yung qualification framework, hindi lang BANT yung alam nila. They have MEDDIC, which is metrics. They are economic buyer, decision process, decision criteria, identify pain, and champion. Okay? Yan yung MEDDIC. Pwede nyo siyang screenshot, pwede nyo siyang isulat, pwede nyo siyang tandaan. Next is yung CHAMP. Do you know the CHAMP qualification framework? CHAMP or challenges, what pain points in your lead facing and how can your solution solve them. Authority is the lead, the key decision maker for purchasing like your solution. The money, and then priority. Okay? Yan yung isa. Tas ito, anum, authority, need, urgency, and money. Okay? So, almost the same lang siya ng BANT, pero usually kasi, mas madaling itanong yung BANT framework. Usually, maganda yan pagka nagko-calls na tayo. Okay? So, yan yung sa frameworks natin. Okay? Next is tools every SDR should know. Okay. So ano ba yung mga tools na pwede nating gamitin or pwede dapat alam natin? So CRM, na-explain ko na to kanina kagaya ni HubSpot, but we can also look into learning tools like Salesforce, Zoho, Zendesk, Pipedrive, and Go High Level. Sa sales engagement, di ba yung pag-send out ng mga emails, pwedeng si Instantly, pwedeng si Apollo. Si Lemlist, pwede rin. And pwede rin si Mailcheck. For lead generation tools like Apollo, ZoomInfo, tawag dito, Instantly, there are other tools din. Pwede nyo siyang isulat or i-take down notes. Kagaya ng Lucia, si Clay.com, pwede rin si Apify. Okay? Sino pa ba? Apollo, ZoomInfo. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, pwede rin yan, no? Pero ito naman kasi, pag filter ng lead sa LinkedIn, if we are very big when it comes to LinkedIn campaigns, pwede natin gamitin si LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Pero sa lead gen tools, nandiyan si Apollo, ZoomInfo, Instantly, Lucia, si Rocket Reach, pwede rin pala. Si Crunchbase, pwede rin. No? Ilan yan sa mga lead generation tools na pwede nating gamitin. Now, meron tayong mga free certifications. I highly suggest, guys, that you take some of the certifications na libre, especially si HubSpot. Si HubSpot, meron siyang free certifications. You just go to Google and search HubSpot Academy. Lalabas yan. There's a lot of CRM certifications na meron. Actually, hindi lang CRM. Meron siyang certifications for sales. Meron siyang certifications for dito, for marketing. Meron siyang certifications for a lot of things. No, libre lang yan, mga kababayan, mga kaibigan. So I highly suggest you go there as your next steps if you want to pursue this career. Isa rin to sa high factor na ma-hire tayo ng company, no? If we have a lot of certification. So it's good that this training, itong SDR training, meron tong certification. That means you're certified and you have an idea about an SDR na agad. So yun, ito mga HubSpot certification. Currently, I have, I think, 22 HubSpot certification. No? So kumuha kayo niyan. Meron din tayong CRM course na libre. Search nyo lang Salesforce CRM course and then Zoho Academy. No, so marami rin kayong matututunan. As a aspiring VA, as aspiring freelancer, as a aspiring SDR, kapag na-master natin yung CRM, malaki na yung mako-contribute natin agad sa company or sa client na pagtatrabahuhan natin. Kasi most of our clients, they don't have time para aralin yung mga CRM. Sometimes if they heard or maririnig nila, makikita nila sa resume ninyo na you are very good when it comes to using HubSpot, CRM, Salesforce, or Zoho, there's a high chance that they're going to hire you kasi they know that you're going to contribute a lot to their company. Kasi yun na yung ginagamit nilang tools for their business. Okay? All right. What's next for you? So as aspiring VA, it's best that you understand the SDR rules and tools. Aralin pa siya. This 1 hour or 2 hours will not be enough for you to learn. As an SDR, as a freelance, it's a continuous learning. Ako, just FYI lang. So currently, my role, I'm a sales development representative, but before I was a business development manager. Side of that, I do have background in marketing. naging marketing manager din ako sa isang company sa US. And then sabi nga nila, naging professor din ako, college professor. I was teaching graphics, I was teaching IT subjects. So the more skills that you have, the more opportunity yung ma-offer natin sa client. Makakatulong tayo sa kanila in maraming aspects, not just being an SDR or someone that is handling the sales. Learn outreach and qualification. There's a lot. Si Instantly pala, meron din sa YouTube, no? So, I highly suggest you watch Instantly Masterclass. Doon mas maintindihan nyo how you can create personalized outreach, personalized emails, drafting. Go to YouTube, search Instantly Copywriting Masterclass. Panoorin nyo siya. Start prospecting smart and build your value as an SDR. I think ito SDR career growth. Bakit nga ba masarap maging SDR? Kasi as an SDR, you can be an account executive. Pag account executive ka, mapera ka. Bakit? Kasi there's a high chance of commissions. 'Di ba? Maraming commissions kang makukuha. I was an account executive before for a VYP company. Yan. So, future aside of being an AE, pwede kang maging customer success, sales of rev ops director of sales, 'di ba? Or an SDR manager probably hanggang sa maging director ka na ng sales. So there's a high chance of career path sa SDR at hindi lang tayo nalilimitan maging SDR forever. Okay? Ayan. So I think next natin, Miss Bless and Miss Glenna, is our games. Yon, sige. Pasa ko muna kanila, Miss, at para makapag
Ayan.
icebreaker naman tayo.
Alright, tama ka dyan, Dino. So, makakapag-water break, CR break muna ang ating speaker.